Hey friends, and welcome to this new video dedicated to Garten of Banban 9. Today we are here to talk about a really important news because we might be very close to an official release. In fact, as we already said in previous videos, the Euphoric brothers are working non-stop on the project, and right now they are preparing the new episode of the Banban Chronicles. All this leads us to a very interesting possibility. The new chapter could be released as soon as tomorrow. During this video, we will take a look together at all the news and we will analyze why there is a real chance that something new and incredible about Garten of Banban 9 could arrive tomorrow. So stay with me until the end because there are really many things to discuss, and I assure you that this introduction will be full of details and theories. But before we start, let me remind you as always to leave a like on the video and to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's really important because it helps me bring you new content every day and to keep you always updated on the world of Garten of Banban. Now, let's not waste any more time and let's start right away to discover what could happen tomorrow with the new episode. Now let's take a closer look at why the new episode of Banban Chronicles could really be released tomorrow. First of all, I want to make something very clear. Everything I'm saying here is based only on the information and data available so far. So this is not an official confirmation, but a very plausible theory. Let's start with the first element. The new episode had already been announced several weeks ago through the messages on Discord. In fact, the developers had clearly stated that they were working on the next episode of Banban Chronicles. This is a detail we should not underestimate, because if the development was announced some time ago, it means that production is already in an advanced stage and no longer just an early idea, but rather a piece of content close to completion. Secondly, we have another strong clue. Last week, the Euphoric brothers said that the video for the new episode was already in the editing phase. This detail is really important, because if the episode was already being edited last week, then it's very likely that the work is now finished or only needs the final touches. And when a video has already reached this point, it means the release is imminent. For this reason, there's a real chance that it could officially drop tomorrow. But there's more. Tomorrow is Friday, and we know very well that the Euphoric brothers often choose Friday as the perfect day to release their main content. It's almost like it has become a tradition for them, even though in recent weeks they have also released on other days of the week. However, if we look at their past habits, Friday still remains the most probable day for an announcement or the release of a new episode. And let's not forget what we are talking about. Banban Chronicles is not just some random extra content, but a real parallel series that explores the secrets and hidden stories of the characters in Garten of Banban. So if the new episode really comes out tomorrow, it could reveal crucial information about the upcoming Garten of Banban 9 and about the mysteries still surrounding this saga. In short, all these elements put together lead us to believe that tomorrow is indeed the most likely date for the release of the new episode of Banban Chronicles. Now, let's talk about another very important point. Which character could be the protagonist of the new episode of Banban Chronicles? As we know, Chapter 8 was released very recently, so we cannot exclude that the new episode could actually be connected to one of the characters introduced or highlighted in this latest part of the story. The first name that immediately comes to mind is without any doubt Flambeau. Flambeau was definitely the most relevant and central character of Chapter 8, as well as the main mascot around which most of the gameplay dynamics and puzzles were built. For this reason, it would not be surprising at all if the Euphoric brothers decided to dedicate an entire Banban Chronicles episode to him, where they could reveal new details, hidden secrets, curiosities, and background information that we didn't get to see inside Chapter 8. After all, we know very well that this video series was created with the main goal of expanding the lore and giving more depth to the most important characters of Garten of Banban. Every episode doesn't just tell a story, but it builds new connections, adds more mystery, and above all, gives fans small hints that later become very useful in the main chapters. And to support this theory, we also have a very interesting precedent. Let's remember that when Chapter 7 was released, just a few weeks later the Euphoric brothers published a Banban Chronicles episode entirely dedicated to Syringion, the main mascot of that chapter. It's almost as if a clear pattern has been established. First they release a main chapter with its mascot, and shortly after they publish a Banban Chronicles episode that explores that same character. If this pattern repeats again, then the chances that the new episode will focus on Flambeau are extremely high. It would be the most logical choice and the one most consistent with the developers' past moves. Moreover, an episode dedicated to Flambeau would allow the Euphoric brothers to clarify some of the darker aspects surrounding him and maybe even tease some details about Chapter 9, creating a direct link between the extra content and the main storyline of the game. So, all the evidence seems to suggest that Flambeau is the most likely candidate to become the protagonist of the next episode of Banban Chronicles. But as we will see very soon, he is not the only possible character that could be chosen. Now let's also focus on another fundamental aspect: the possible news and revelations that could be shown in the next episode of the Banban Chronicles. In fact, we have to remember that this video series is not just about telling the secrets and curiosities of the main characters, but it goes much further, revealing new details about the development of the game and about ideas that the Euphoric brothers had during the creation of the chapters, some of which were modified or even discarded during production. A very interesting example was already seen with the episode dedicated to Syringion. On that occasion, it was revealed that during the development of Chapter 7, there was supposed to be a huge tower as a central scenario. However, this tower never appeared in the 7th chapter because the idea was cut in the final stage. The surprising thing is that this same tower later reappeared and played an important role in Chapter 8, showing that the developers often keep scrapped ideas to reuse them in the future when they think the time is right. That's why the next episode of the Banban Chronicles could follow the exact same logic. We might see the revelation of a scenario or a location that was originally planned for Chapter 8 but was left out at the last moment. This would mean that there's a good chance of seeing it reappear later, maybe in Chapter 9 or in the ones to come. It would therefore be a sort of preview of the content that the Euphoric brothers already have stored in their archives and are deciding how and when to implement in the game. But that's not all. Another recurring element of the Banban Chronicles is the presentation of the so-called scrapped characters. In every episode, at least one concept is shown of a creature or a mascot that was designed for the series but never made it into the main chapters. This is one of the most fascinating aspects of the series because it gives us an exclusive look behind the scenes of the developers' creativity. We can see not only the world of Banban as it is today, but also what it could have been. The Euphoric brothers, through their official messages, have already made it clear that the scrapped characters shown so far are only a small part of the huge number of ideas they have created during development. This means that the next episode of the Banban Chronicles could reveal one of these never-before-seen concepts, expanding the universe of the game even more and fueling the community's theories. Who knows, maybe from these scrapped characters we could even find hints about who we'll see in the next chapters. In short, the new episode might not only tell us about Flambeau or other protagonists of Chapter 8, but also give us a precious look behind the scenes of the game, on alternative scenarios, and especially on those mysterious creatures that never saw the light, at least until now. Well friends, we've reached the end of this video. Before closing, I really want to thank you all for watching this video until the end. Remember as always to leave a big like if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any news about Garten of Banban and all the future updates. Your support is so important to keep bringing you everyday new theories, news and deep dives into this saga that we all love so much. That's it. We'll see each other very soon with a new video. Thanks again for watching and greetings to all of you. Bye bye.